Do you need a permit if you're looking to insulate or re-insulate your house? Well, the answer is yes, probably. But let's talk about it. So let's break this down into a few different categories. First, if you're building a new structure, so let's just say a new build, do you need a permit for insulation? Yes, just always assume yes. If you're building something new, you will have to pull permits for just about everything from the excavation, the foundation, the framing, electrical, plumbing, insulation, finishing, all sorts of different permits you're gonna have to pull. You should definitely assume that insulation should be one of them. Of course, standards are going to vary throughout the country, but insulation is most likely going to be a permit you will have to pull and have it inspected if you're building a new structure. What if you're just putting up an addition? What if you're just adding on to your existing house? Do you have to pull a permit then? Yes. Again, you should always assume yes. And keep in mind, this new addition will likely have to meet today's code. So whatever standards and codes are required today as you build this addition will likely be what's required for this part of the build, even if the existing home it's attached to was built way back in the day and had a different set of codes and is built completely differently. More than likely, your new addition will have to meet today's codes. But Professor, you say, I'm just making an alteration to my existing home. Do I need a permit? Yeah, probably. This is where the area gets a little bit gray, and this will vary all over the country. This will vary state to state, county to county, and city to city. Very likely you will have one city next to another that has different standards and practices depending on that local inspector or code official. So this gets very, very gray, as I said. But you should always make sure that before you start any work, have everything planned out. Make sure you go to your code office or your township office, whatever it is for you where you live. Make sure you speak with the code official, the building inspector. Lay out your plan for them, tell them exactly what you're going to do, what you're going to be using, and they will tell you what is required for you to apply for and to have inspected. At the end of the day, your local code official is the authority on this. Believe it or not, they are the authority. They decide what you have to do, what will pass, and what materials are allowed. So make sure you're going through them directly. If you're doing an alteration to an existing building, it can go either way. I've personally worked with some inspectors that will hold you to the code that was in place when the original building was built, and there's some code officials that will say this alteration for this part of the house has to be brought up to new standards, to today's code. It runs the gamut all over the place, so please make sure you do your own due diligence and talk to your local code official. Another great resource to learn what codes you have to follow and what permits you have to file for is the contractor that you will be using to actually perform this work. So if you are actually looking to insulate or re-insulate your home, you should go below, click our Find a Dealer page, and so you can hook up with your local RetroFoam dealer. Ask them what permits are required, what code has to be followed to get your home more comfortable. This is the Professor of Foam reminding you that building is a science.